Hi everyone. Michigan ended up beating Indiana 63 to 47 today to bring their record to 6-1. So we're doing a quick recap from Michigan Stadium's press box. So Mike, what did you like about the game today?
Well, you definitely had to like the offense. I mean, for both teams, this was an offensive bonanza, as I tweeted out. Uh, both Devin Gardner and Jeremy Gallon set school records. Jeremy Gallon even set a Big Ten record, and one more big play, he would have set the all-time record for most receiving yards in a game. We'll get to that in a minute, but you definitely have to like the explosiveness Michigan's offense showed today.
hmm like Mike was saying, Jeremy Gallon, 369 yards receiving, two touchdowns. The receiving yards was a Big Ten and Michigan single game record. Devin Gardner, like Mike was saying too, 503 yards passing. That's a Michigan record, Michigan single game record, and then Michigan's offense, 751 total yards. That's a single game record for Michigan. So several records, shattered today in an offensive duel. It was a shootout all the way through, just like we talked about, in our preview on Friday. So, anything else that you noticed, Mike, defensively? It wasn't a defense. It wasn't a game where you saw much defense, but there was some big plays
There
by
wasn't a whole,
Michigan.
there wasn't a whole lot that I liked from the defense on either side, but definitely if there was one bright spot, it was Thomas Gordon's two interceptions. Actually, I almost had a third one near the end of the game. I believe it was a pass close to the end zone, if not in the end zone, by Indiana, and he almost brought that one in as well. So definitely he's set the benchmark for how the rest of these cornerbacks and safeties have to play. Question is, can they achieve that? And it's really going to be a big challenge for this young secondary when over these next 5 games.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of defense found in this game, but Frank Clark and Desmond Morgan both had one sack each. So that definitely helps Michigan's pass rush that they've been wanting to have the entire season. It hasn't really been there. And then they also had 248 rushing yards. I know Devin Gardner had 103 of those, so most of them went to Fitz Toussaint or Derek Green, and they definitely really like having that kind of production. You could ask the players like we did after the game. Taylor Lewan was thrilled with Fitz Toussaint's, rushing yards today with how he performed. I think he had 3 rushing touchdowns, so that was a big game for him. But going into the bye week, they have a week off, and then they get back at it with Michigan State, November 2nd. So what are you looking for in that game?
Well, the defense clearly has to improve. I mean, it's nice to see that Michigan has this one-loss record so far, but with the way these next 5 games are going to be, especially since you have the bye week bridging the two, you may as well reset the record back to 0-0. And if the defense can't play more effectively against teams like Michigan State, Ohio State, and Nebraska, then this season could quickly turn ugly. And I think that's the last thing these fans want to see.
Yeah, 5 more games to go. Michigan State, Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa, and then Ohio State. So, tough schedule to go through, but, right now Michigan's offense looks like it's ready for the task. Just, the defense is in question after allowing, I believe, 410 passing yards and I think 500 total yards. So, big question marks surrounding the defense. But if you had to give the game ball to one player today, several players to pick, who would you give it to?
Well, I think an easy choice would be Jeremy Gallon because of his gigantic effort today, both breaking the Michigan school record for most receiving yards in a game and the Big Ten record. But also a guy I liked was Fitzgerald Toussaint. He had a really rough game against Penn State. He was berated by the fans for it, and it seemed even from early on that he was determined to just put that effort behind him and show these Michigan fans that he's the number one running back for a reason.
Yeah, I'd have to give the game ball to Devin Gardner. 503 passing yards, 103 rushing yards, 5 total touchdowns. I think he did he have one turnover? I believe he
There
had.
was the mishandled snap,
Yeah, that was
like right like at the 2 yard line of Indiana.
Yeah, so I think he had one turnover, but to come back, out and do what he did today, 606 total yards of offense after his struggles against Penn State. So, that's definitely something that, was huge for Michigan's offense today. Jeremy Gallon wouldn't have had those receiving yards today without Devin Gardner's contribution. So, I'd have to give the ball to Devin Gardner.
But I mean, not to sound like a downer, really, but Coach Hoke said it the best at the press conference tonight. You can't win a championship without defense, and clearly the offense is where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But this bye week is going to be huge as to whether or not this team is a contender or a pretender for the Big Ten championship.
Oh yeah, like you said, Mike, and it all comes down to defense, just like Hope said. So it should be interesting. Michigan has some things to work on in the bye week, so it comes at a pretty good time for the Wolverines. So any closing thoughts, Mike?
I think we pretty much touched on all of it. Kind of disappointing not to see a whole lot of Brennan Gibbons. Really see him try to rebound from last week's rough game against Penn State. He did have one field goal, which was blocked by Indiana. Who knows if it went over those guys' heads, if it would have made it or not. But otherwise, he just had extra point attempts. So really, that was the one chance he had to rebound this week. Wish we could have seen more of that.
Okay. Like we said, Michigan has a bye week next week, so we're going to probably do a little preview on a video or through an article later this week. So look for that, and then we will be back at it November 2nd when the Wolverines take on Michigan State from East Lansing. So I'm Ricky Lindsay, joined alongside Mike Holzman. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.